So it was reported today that Amazon was going to start showing tariff charges on all the products they sell on the website, sort of in a form of like a tax underneath the total price, until the White House had like an emergency press conference and absolutely went nuclear on Jeff Bezos and the entire company of Amazon. I mean, Karoline Leavitt literally called Jeff Bezos a Chinese propagandist and said
And then when Bezos decided to show off the taxes imposed on items sold on Amazon, the White House immediately responded, "Not happening." It was truly a response like a full-blown crisis. But Bezos just hit the coffee machine and continued running his empire. While Trump exploded over tariffs, Bezos sat at his trading floor, still controlling everything from afar. And of course, customers had no idea they were paying a little extra for those items.
Continue to say that the U.S. and China are not engaged in any consultation or negotiation on tariffs. You recently said you've talked to your counterpart, but more about, quote, traditional things like financial stability. So can you clarify, is the administration talking to Beijing specifically about tariffs or not?
Well, we're not going to talk about who's talking to whom, but I think that, over time we will see that the Chinese tariffs are unsustainable for China.
With Jeff Bezos, tariffs are nothing to worry about because he's not just playing the game, he's setting the rules. What about Trump? He's still clinging to outdated trade strategies, like trying to run the world with black and white phones. What Trump calls fair trade is actually just an old-fashioned tariff war, while Bezos, without ever having to argue about tariffs, controls the entire economy with subtle modern strategies. Instead of fighting with outdated tariffs, Bezos makes clever moves, building an empire that no one can catch up with.
Very large numbers over the past few days to show if these numbers stay on, Chinese could lose 10 million jobs very quickly, and even if there is a drop in the tariffs, that they could lose 5 million jobs. So remember that we are the deficit country. They sell almost 5 times more goods to us than we sell to them. So the onus will be on them.
So what's the lesson here? Jeff Bezos is not just a billionaire. He's a formidable opponent to Trump, playing this game with a strategy far beyond anything Trump could ever imagine. Bezos doesn't need to make a fuss or dive into trade wars. He simply controls the market like a master artist. Meanwhile, Trump is still fumbling with outdated tariff strategies like an old man trying to catch up with the modern world. Bezos dominates the market without lifting a finger. While Trump keeps stumbling with old methods, Bezos only needs to make a slight adjustment to change the game, while Trump just pushes everything further. Who will win this showdown? Definitely not Trump. Bezos is
to a different audience. So I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty again of who's talking to whom. But as I said, I believe for the Chinese, these tariffs.
And so Trump continues to act like an angry child kicking over his sandcastle while Bezos quietly sends signals without ever stepping on anyone's toes. Trump still holds on to his threatening stance on tariffs, while Bezos is far more subtle. Bezos knows that to win, you don't have to throw a tantrum like a child. You need to quietly create influence from behind the scenes. Trump may rebel, but Bezos has built a solid empire, like a machine without needing to shout and scream. While Trump fumbles with destroying companies and imposing tariffs, Bezos simply sits back, controls everything.
I wouldn't think that we would have supply chain shocks, and I think retailers, they have managed their inventory in front of this. I speak to dozens of companies, sometimes daily, but definitely weekly, and they know that President Trump is committed to.
Have you ever thought that while Trump is busy rolling up his sleeves to handle supply chain disruptions, and worse, waging a trade war with China, Jeff Bezos is calmly sitting on his Amazon fortune, not a worry in sight? It seemed like a fair fight, but the Amazon boss had already played his move a step ahead with strategies like, "Leave me alone. I've prepared for this a long time ago. Goodbye supply chain crisis, and hello to the superior marketing tactics that only Bezos can pull off." Just think about it. While Trump frets over rising tariffs, Bezos only needs to adjust his product prices a little.